AITA for not helping my boyfriend after he had a car accident. My boyfriend was in a car accident. He broke his left leg, ankle and forearm, and he'll be out of commission for at least 9 months. Overall he's okay and I'm glad and thankful for it. So why aren't you helping him? Because I said I wouldn't and I'm sticking to my guns, but it's getting harder to do so every day. You see, my boyfriend is a reckless driver. He eats, drinks, not alcohol, doesn't like beer or spirits, and is always on his cell phone whenever he's driving. It's been a point of contention ever since I met him, to point that I've either taken the wheel or left him and taken an Uber home because I didn't felt safe. Ironically, he's never been stopped or gotten a ticket over it. So why did you said you weren't going to help him? About 3 months ago, we were coming back from a weekend getaway, and while he was driving, he was watching a race on cell phone, a race. I offered to take the wheel so he could enjoy it but said no. We got into a huge fight and it ended when I said that if he were to get into an accident, no matter how bad, I wouldn't help him. He got quiet and we made it back home safely. Fast forward 9 weeks later, he has an accident, a big one. He lost control and rolled over, hitting a tree rigged on the driver's side. He spent 2 weeks in the hospital and was discharged a few days ago. During his time in the hospital, he confessed to me that he was distracted by his cell phone, which wasn't surprising. Since he lives by himself, it's been quite difficult to go on with his life. I visit him but I don't help him, and while it does hurt me, I am standing firm with my promise. He got himself into this situation, why should I have to pay for it? On top of that, his family is all over me and quite displeased that I am not over there. Since all of them live miles away from where he is, they can't be there to help him. My boyfriend is understandably angry with me, but I can't bring myself to be there for him even after all the warning I told him. So here I am, asking if he ought to hear, and if I am, I'll bring myself around and be there for him. AITA here. Should I help my injured boyfriend after all of this? Your judgment is quite appreciated. Addendum number 1, to his credit, he's been apologetic and thankful for being alive. He cares little about what happened to his car, 2022 Kia Sorento. He has a nurse that comes by to check on him, and his parents hired a housekeeper who helps him clean and prepare food.
Won't move your car? Enjoy the hour wait. And a car accident. The other day 25 meters, was delivering fuel to a gas station. This station was set up where the tank access lids are right by the parking spots. For me to be in a position to dump fuel, I need to block all of the parking spots in front of the building. There's usually a car or two in the way and I can usually patiently wait until I'm clear to pull in. If it's a busy time of day, I put cones up as cars leave to prevent anyone else from pulling in until I've moved into position. But this time, a lady in a Tesla absolutely couldn't handle parking 50 feet away and had to move my cone to park right in front of the door. I hopped out my truck and went inside to ask her to move so I could deliver the gas, and she told me, "Get bent, you can wait until I'm done here." So I pulled my truck in behind her with about 2 inches to spare between my truck axles and her bumper. I set my brakes and began hooking up hoses to unload. Since I couldn't park in the ideal position, my large 3 inches hose was too short to reach the hole, so I used my 2 inches hose, which is longer but does limit flow rate by about 33%. No sooner than 5 seconds after I've opened my valve to start the fuel delivery, she comes out screaming that she's in a hurry and I need to move my truck before she calls the cops for harassment. I told her, "Get bent, you can wait until I'm done here." She asked me how long it would take. I informed her that normally it would be about 45 minutes, but because I had to use my smaller hose, I figured about an hour and 15 minutes. She stormed off and got in her car and called the cops. About 10 minutes later, 2 officers arrive and ask what the problem is. She wants me arrested for harassment. Gas station employee sides with me, saying the woman was rude and belligerent and I'm just here to do my job. The cops tell her she's just going to have to wait and they leave. I took my sweet time unloading and doing my paperwork. All total, she waited an hour and a half before I moved my truck when I left. As I was waiting to pull out of the parking lot, she zoomed around me and pulled out into the street, directly into the path of oncoming traffic. She was T-boned by a lifted pickup with heavy-duty cattle guard bumper. Her Tesla was totaled, the pickup was completely unscathed. She was not injured, but I almost had an asthma attack from laughing so hard. Neighbor kept parking in my spot, so I gave her a taste of her own medicine. Alright, so this might not be the pettiest thing out there, but it felt amazing at the time. My apartment complex has assigned parking spots, and each unit has one spot that's, yours. For weeks, my new neighbor started parking in my spot after work. At first, I let it slide, figured she just got confused or whatever. But when it kept happening, I left a polite note asking her to please use her own spot. The next day, I come home, and yep, her car is there again. She crumpled my note and left it under her wiper, like she was proud of ignoring it. So, I decided I'd just use her spot instead. Every day, without fail, I parked right in her designated spot. It took 2 days before she started leaving notes on my car asking me to stop. I kept switching spots with her until she finally knocked on my door to confront me. I just acted clueless and told her, "Oh, I thought we were doing a swap since you were using mine." She sputtered out some excuse, but she finally stopped. Now, every time I pull into my spot and see her car not there, it's a tiny little win.